Welcome to the Nehemiah Entrepreneurship Community Podcast. I'm your host, Patrice Tsague, and I'm here today with my good friend. She's really a good friend. I've kind of got to know Di this year, and it's not been a long time, just this year.
Yeah, it's just been like 5 months.
I've just come to love you. I just want to say that.
Thank you.
She's a get it done gal. She's on it, right? We're going to talk about how to move from debt to wealth. This podcast today is going to be focused on discussing our upcoming passive income forum, which you're going to be a guest. And where we're going to be dealing with various ways that you can begin to get out of debt and realize your passive income objective. So Di is here today to really focus on the debt aspect, because it's kind of hard to begin a passive income journey when you are held down by debt, isn't it?
It is very hard to build a passive income journey because the opposite of debt is wealth. And you've got to get rid of that debt in order to build the wealth.
I love it. So before we get into it, let's kind of introduce who Di is. Di, kind of tell our audience. So what I do know about you is that you are a faithful community member. You come to all the activities I invite you to. I thank you for that. You're very compliant, by the way. I like that about you. You're an entrepreneur, but you are a specialist in helping people get out of debt.
Correct.
So tell us a bit about that and kind of what that means, the organization you work with, and how long you've been doing this.
All right. Well, I have been helping families convert debt to wealth for the past quarter of a century. And when I started out, I was with the traditional banking industry. I was life licensed, mortgage licensed, securities licensed, doing everything the traditional way. And then God woke me up big time. So I have been with the United Financial Freedom and United Financial Wealth since 2019, where we're really able to complete the mission I started 25 years ago in helping families not only be properly protected and debt-free, but to have massive passive residual income for life.
Oh, wow. So beyond just debt elimination, you also help them create residual income.
Absolutely. We help families build wealth tax-free and risk-free, two things everybody wants, especially in this environment, and nobody knows is possible.
I love it, and we'll get into it. Listen, so we're going to be talking about this upcoming passive income forum, which will be coming up. You're going to see a link right there on the platform for you to how to register. This passive income forum will include other speakers as well. And I'll be doing a talk called How to Choose Sustained Freedom, which will kind of set the stage for my discussion with these panelists. So let's go back even further. Young Dee, she's 5 to 10 years old, and she's thinking about forward. Did you imagine you'd be doing this?
Absolutely not. I was a normal little girl. Okay. I wanted to be a ballerina or a boxer.
A boxer? Why boxer?
Well, in the 70s, that's when Rocky came out. Okay. And I have 6 little brothers. And so, I thought I'm either going to be a ballerina, I'm going to be a boxer. I struggled in school, and I never, in my wildest imaginations, thought I would be helping people with finance.
Wow. So did you ever imagine you'd be an entrepreneur?
Nope.
Okay,
I
so
thought I would be a
ballerina.
wife and a mom once I was done fighting or dancing.
So what got you into finance and entrepreneurship?
Well, it was totally a God thing. It was not what I was looking for, nor was it the path I would have chosen. But in 1995, my children's father, he fell out of a tree 13 feet onto the base of his neck. He wiped out his memory, paralyzed his left side, and was released to the hospital, or from the hospital, to die at home. I was 25 years old, had 3 children, had no life insurance, because at that time we thought it was for old people. right? We were young, we were kids, and life insurance is for grandmas and grandpas, so they make you rich when they die. But that's not what it was about. And that was a really, really hard time. And I opened a daycare and started taking care of children because that's what I knew. And 7 years later, my little brother brought me kicking and screaming to a financial advisor.
Wow.
And at that time, I found out that the life insurance that I bought to protect my kids if anything happened to me after their dad fell was not the right kind of life insurance. I didn't even know there were different types. The gentleman who helped me, he just said, how much can you afford? And he wrote me a policy. And he wrote me a policy that was designed to build assets, but not to focus on death benefit.
Okay.
And what I wanted was if I died, I wanted my babies to be okay forever. So I was sold the wrong type of policy. Not that it was a bad policy, it was just wrong for my needs. And I also, by the time my brother brought me to a financial advisor, I had a first mortgage, a second mortgage that I had to take out to add on to my house to build the daycare, $97,000 worth of credit card debt, $120,000 worth of student loans, car payment, van payment, and a timeshare. So when I say I was a financial train wreck, I was.
Wow.
And this man that my brother brought me to, showed me that I could take all of that debt, 28 years worth of debt, and pay it off in 13 years.
Wow.
He showed me I had the wrong kind of insurance, and he taught me that investing wasn't only for the Rockefellers and the super smart. And I didn't believe a word he said.
Wow. 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 Wow.
But
wow.
I did do my research. It was true. And that started my journey.
Wow. You know, I wrote a book called Nothing But a Jar of Oil, where a woman, husbands die.
I love your book,
Yeah.
Nothing But a Jar of Oil.
And she finds herself in a situation where she doesn't know what to do. She goes to the property manager. You know, you read the book, you know the story. And it just reminds me of that kind of incident. So your husband paralyzed that, and you, I'm assuming, stay-at-home mom at that time.
I was a stay-at-home mom.
Wow.
I was a stay-at-home mom because honestly, you know, all kids dream of being something like a ballerina or a boxer, but ultimately I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, just like my mom.
Wow.
She was awesome and never really thought I'd have to work outside the home.
By the way, Italian heritage?
Yep.
Of course.
Very
of course.
Italian.
Yeah, that I like that energy. You know what we call Italians? The European blacks.
Oh, nice.
You know, the Sicilians, you know, you guys out there, you guys a little bit soul. You're not like the French or the Germans, you know, you guys got
We've
that.
got passion.
You got passion.
We've got passion.
That's right.
And we like food and we like
That's
wine
right.
and we
That's
like
right.
fun.
Like life and, you know, so, wow. So you begin that journey to entrepreneurship, and it's interesting that you started first with a daycare, and then that didn't work out, and then you bumped into.
Actually, the daycare worked out great.
Okay.
Because my degree was in psychology with
Got
an
it.
emphasis on chemical dependency and
Got it.
rehab.
Got it.
And unfortunately, there are a lot of children that are born addicts. And those were the babies that I took in. But I was working 15 hours a day, 6 days a week. And even though the daycare that I had was part of my home, one day I was holding my baby, feeding him. Actually, no, my baby was laying on the floor and I was holding another baby, giving it its bottle. And that was my snap moment because my child was on the floor feeding himself while I was holding somebody else's child. And I didn't know, but at that moment I started looking. I didn't know I was looking.
Wow.
But that was my snap moment. And shortly after that was when my brother brought me to the financial advisor.
Wow. You know, and in my project, we call that your business was profitable, but you were trapped.
Exactly.
Right? You didn't know that you were trapped, didn't understand it. But one thing, once you saw your child, you recognized, wait a minute, I may be making a living and I may have entrepreneurship, I may be free in terms of I'm doing my own business. The problem is that I don't have the margin of time.
Exactly.
To take in my own child.
I couldn't volunteer in the classroom. I couldn't go on field trips. I couldn't take my kids to their own sporting events.
Yeah.
And so I was a paycheck more than a mother.
Wow. You pretty much bought a job.
Yeah, I
Right?
bought a job.
And many entrepreneurs do that, right? We leave a job to buy a job. And so as we track, that's why we want entrepreneurs to become sustainable where they have systems, the right people in the right position, so that the business is working for them versus them working for the business. So your freedom though came when you now got into financial services.
Exactly.
Now, was it because the process helped you get out of debt, or is it because the business opportunity, or both?
At first, it was the business opportunity, because even though I was shown how I could pay off my debt in record time, that if I died, I could have 10 times the life insurance. What helped me immediately was the business opportunity. I got my life license, I got my securities licenses, I got my mortgage licenses, and within 90 days of starting that journey, I was breaking national sales records.
Wow.
And I shut down my daycare. I became a full-time mother. I started volunteering in the schools. I went on field trips, not only with my kids, but with classes my kids weren't even in.
Wow.
I didn't miss sporting events anymore.
You got your life back.
I got my life. I was able to work just a couple hours a day and have the income I needed. I built an incredible team. It was just, everybody has debt and nobody wants it. Everybody wants to retire. Nobody's on track. So I had exactly what everybody was looking for. And I would just pick up the phone and call my friends and, people I met. And it's like, if I could show you how to pay off debt you've already incurred, in as little as 1/2 to 1/3 the time. If I could show you how to, earn an additional $1,000, on a very part-time limited basis. If, it was all this what ifs. And everybody was looking for, part-time income. Nobody's looking for more work. Everybody's looking for more income.
That's right.
Everybody's looking to be debt-free. And, I had the answer for it, and I was living it. So nobody could tell me that it didn't work, because rapidly I changed my career and my life changed.
I love it. We're talking with Di, and Di is an entrepreneur, a financial consultant.
I like to tell people I'm a financial artist.
Oh, she's a financial artist. And so Di went from her husband passing away eventually.
He did not pass.
Wow.
But he was never the same again.
Wow. That's an incredible story. For her husband getting terminally ill, essentially, very sick, and to starting a daycare business, deep in debt, and then finding financial freedom through the process. She's now helping others discover the same. Is that right?
Exactly, helping other people.
That's right. And Di will be with us I have the date right here. She'll be with us on April the 20th at our Passive Income Forum. If you've not yet registered for that forum, you want to do that right now. Go to our website, nehemiahecommunity.com. You can just go to event and register, or find the link right there and sign up for. You'll meet Di and other financial experts as they talk about this journey, how you can also find financial freedom. That's interesting, Di. We talk about entrepreneurship as a tool to find freedom, but very few entrepreneurs are free.
Yes.
Because oftentimes they traded a job for another job, except this job, they chose it themselves, right? But even with business success, unless you're doing other things that are strategic to your personal finances, you're still not going to find freedom, because you can have freedom margin, personal time. But if you don't manage your finances right, you're still not going to find freedom.
Exactly. You're just going to be broke at another level.
Exactly. So let's talk about somebody's listening to us right now and watching this podcast is saying, okay, Di, what is it that you do, and how do you help people find that freedom?
All right. Well, what I do is I help people beat the banks at their own game. And the first part of that is helping them change their conditioning, okay? I like to ask people, what if everything you knew about money and finance was wrong? How fast would you want to know? Because everything that we know about money and finance is wrong. And it's wrong on purpose. When I sit down with people who have 6 years degrees in business and finance, they don't even know the truth about what's going on. I hear so many people say, well, my mortgage, that's the cheapest money I'm ever going to borrow. You guys, it is not the cheapest money you're ever going to borrow. Einstein says those who understand interest are destined to earn it, and those who don't are doomed to pay it. Look at the word mortgage itself. It's Latin root, mort, mortier, death, gauge, grip, promise. I mean, its title, its name, a mortgage. It's a warning sign. This is an agreement until death. And people willingly sign it, and they look at their great low rates. I mean, people right now, they have rates in 2s and 3s, things I never thought I would see in my career. Because when I started, we were in double digits with mortgages.
Isn't that kind of where we kind of heading?
That's where we're headed back. But the thing is, Patrice, your rate doesn't matter. And if you haven't heard me, I'll say it louder, friends, your rate doesn't matter. There are multiple ways to calculate your rate. It's the product that you are in. And a mortgage is what we call a closed-end loan, not an opened-end, it's closed-end. It's very restrictive. And I sat down with a pastor just last week, and he told me, well, Di, I've got a 3% on my mortgage. You know, that's the cheapest money. And I said, can you bring your mortgage up on your phone? And so he brought up his mortgage, and I said, how much of your mortgage is going towards interest? And he told me, and I said, now take your principal and interest payment, divide it into that number. He said, you do not have a 3% mortgage. You have a 51.8% mortgage. If your lender said, hey, Pastor so-and-so, I can get you approved for a loan today at 51.8%, would you have signed that? He was so angry. He's like, absolutely not. I said, that's what you have. You do not have a 3% mortgage until you're 29. And that's what people need to understand is how the product itself, how they calculate the interest. It's different because then I went and I showed him his cars. His cars almost had the same interest as his mortgage, but 4 times as much money was going towards principal than interest.
With his car?
Yeah, same rate.
So why is the car something, a consumable, have a better structure than, let's say, a home?
It's just the way it's calculated. And even credit cards, people love to demonize credit cards. You know what? The maximum a bank can charge you on a credit card is 36% APR. But on our mortgage, our 3% mortgage, we are paying almost 52% on it. It's all a game, guys.
So, okay, so a lay person like me, to break that down for me, because when I hear that, and I'm sure most people are saying to themselves, but how is that possible? So what's the hidden mystery here?
Okay, so I want you guys, everyone who has a mortgage today, I want you to go to your truth in lending statement, because legally the banks have to put your TIP, TIP, total interest percentage, on your truth in lending. And so you might see your interest rate is 3%, but then it's going to say, this is not your rate. If you follow the bank's plan, this is what you're going to be paying. I looked at a client's recent truth in lending. He had a 2.65% rate. 2.65. I mean, that's an awesome rate if the rate mattered. But right on the truth in lending, it said, this is not your rate. You will be paying 42.244%.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
and
incredible.
So, you know, we've been—
And it's called truth in lending.
It's your truth in lending statement. Wow. And it's the
so at
TIP.
least they do reveal it to us. It's just hidden
Absolutely.
somewhere.
And you're just excited. You're getting a new mortgage. You're getting a loan rate, a new rate. Sign here, initial here, date here. Oh, isn't this a great day? And they sucked you into a 30-year.
So what's the solution? Don't get a mortgage?
No, get a mortgage.
Okay.
That's the American dream. Mm-hmm. We want you to have not only, you know, your primary residence, why not have rental properties? Why not have that beach house and the house in the mountains? We want you to have all of that. But we want you to beat the bank at their own game. You do not have to stick to their schedule. And we have 8 different banking principles and products that are incorporated into our Money Max account. So you don't even have to understand these. I do not know how my GPS on my car works, but I could not have gotten here to meet with you today, Patrice, if I didn't plug it into my GPS. Okay. It's the same with our Money Max account. It's web-based, it's interactive, it's a financial GPS. We plug in what your debts are, what you owe, your interest rate, your payment. We put in the date that it's due, all of that information. information on all of your debts, not just your mortgage. We put in your income, we put in your living expenses, and then we let you live your life. Okay, you don't have to refinance, you don't have to restructure, and you definitely don't have to change your budget or your lifestyle.
I love it.
You don't have to cut up your credit cards. You don't have to live on beanies and weenies and ride your bicycle to work. You don't have to sacrifice your date nights and your vacations. The Money Max account, it is going to show you mathematically the fastest way to zero debt.
Wow.
And you're going to see the cause and effect of every financial decision you make before you make it. So, it's like having a personal trainer. If you go to the gym, having a gym membership, that's like using any other debt elimination program. There's no accountability. It's static, and if you deviate from the plan at all, it doesn't happen. Well, the Money Max account, it's live. It's interactive.
Wow.
And you can, if you come in below budget, you get a pat on the back. You see, hey, instead of being out of debt in 9.3 years, you're going to be out of debt in 9 years. If you come in over budget, sucker punch, you're going to see that it increased it. But we can help people pay off 30-year mortgages in as little as 5 to 10 years.
I love that because, I use a bookkeeping system called Simplify. And what's neat about systems is that it gives you a clear sense of where you are, what you got to do. But it's a bookkeeping system. It's not a debt-free tool, right? What you're saying here is that your system does more than just, does it replace your bookkeeping system or is it on top of it?
I use it for everything. I don't even have a bookkeeping system. I am very detailed. I'm very itemized. I mean, I joke, but it's serious. My dog has his own line item on my Money Max account. He is one spoiled dog.
So you can use it almost like a bookkeeping tool.
Yes. Now, if you have a business, you want to have a Money Max account for your personal life and a separate one from your business, because
people can also use it for their business as well.
Oh yeah. Anything that has debt. We help churches eliminate their mortgages. We help people, we help businesses. And the goal isn't for you just to be debt-free. We want you to not be debt-free and broke, but be debt-free with lots and lots of money. We want massive passive income.
So in a sense, all of our passive income clients should have a Money Max account.
Absolutely. It is more than just a debt elimination system. This is a financial GPS. It's like having a financial advisor in your pocket 24/7.
Wow. We're talking to Di, let me see your last name.
Darienzo.
Darienzo, a nice Italian name. And we're talking about how to move from debt to wealth through a program called Money Max Account. There will be a speaker for us at our upcoming Passive Income. I believe it's on April the 24th.
April 20th.
I'm sorry, April 20th. Thank you. April 20th. If you've not yet signed up, do that today. You'll have not only Di, but you'll have other speakers as well. You will have Edward from IOLX. You will have Arena from Kenya. You have what's this guy name? You have Blair from Tradeway, and you'll have Ron Wilkinson from First Security. They'll be sharing their own experiences about how they've been able to achieve financial freedom through passive income, and they'll be sharing tools on how you can also begin that journey as well. So that, in a sense, you're saying, look, if you want to be debt-free, you want to achieve financial freedom, you need a Money Max account. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely. And even if you don't want to be debt-free, because not everybody wants to be debt-free. Some people, their goal is to rapidly build equity.
Got it.
So that they can leverage it.
Use other people's money.
Exactly. So we can help.
So if I don't want to be debt-free, how does a Money Max account help me?
Okay.
If debt elimination is not my objective, how does it help me?
If it's not your objective, or if it is? Okay.
If it's not.
So, if you want to say buy multiple properties, okay, a lot of people do. My personal experience with the Money Max account, when I ran my numbers, because I ended up moving to Canada for a couple of years. I came back in 2015, bought a house in 2017, was introduced to the Money Max account in 2019. I didn't think I needed it. I have an extensive banking background at this point, and all I had was a mortgage. So I could figure out, just throw extra principal at this thing. But I ran my numbers because our analyses that we run, they're complimentary. It's free to see whether or not we could help you. And my Money Max account is taking me from just under 27 years to 7.8 years, saving $113,000 in interest.
Wow.
Now, if I did not want to be debt-free, after 1 year on the Money Max account, I had $30,000 of real equity in it, not false appreciation that makes you think you have equity. We're actually building equity even in a down market. So that $30,000 at the end of year one, if I wanted to, I could do a cash out refi and use that as a down payment on another property, which I will plug into my Money Max account, and it will tell me how to pay off both mortgages in record time. If I waited until year 5, I would have over $100,000. No, almost $200,000 equity. That's multiple properties or an apartment complex. So it will help you rapidly build equity that you could leverage into other investments. Whereas, if you're looking at your mortgage amortization schedule after year 1, you're lucky to have paid down $2,000, not $30,000 in my case, but $2,000. So it's literally that big of a difference.
Wow. So in a sense, instead of me getting an accountant, I can just get Money Max. Is that what you're saying?
Well, the Money Max will not pay your taxes for you. I still have an accountant because that's, for one of the number one reasons people go out of business is their taxes.
That's right.
Still have, but this will make tax season way easier because in your Money Max account, you can itemize everything. You can earmark it, whether it's a tax expense or not, and it just has all those files, everything for you.
I love it. So people like myself who do have a bookkeeping system, so if they get Money Max, is it redundant? What happens?
I think it's redundant.
Okay. So you're suggesting get rid of one.
Yep.
And,
I've had clients who are business owners and they come to the Money Max account and they just love it because not only is it web-based and interactive, it connects with over 13,000 different lenders. So things can automatically update. I mean, you're still in the driver's seat. It doesn't move your money for you, but it can update it. And they were just looking for something to make their life easier.
So so does it have things like a budgeting?
Oh yeah.
It has budgeting too. It connects with all your money. You can see your cash balances.
Yep.
You can transfer money within the system.
Okay, you do not transfer money. All of your money stays where it's at.
Okay.
This just tells you exactly
it does automatic downloads.
when.
Does it do automatic downloads into the whatever the
Okay, it can do automatic downloads from your different banking institutions, and then you need to just go in and confirm their accuracy.
Kind of
exactly.
Okay,
so it can get information from your banks and stuff, but it doesn't move money for you.
You got to move yourself.
Exactly.
Right. So as you do activities, it downloads in the system. You just got to classify where it should be.
Exactly.
And then does it give you monthly reports? You can do that.
You have a daily report. You can do it weekly. You can do it monthly. There's all sorts of graphs in it. We have a version that's about to launch. And by the way, once you own the program, you own it for life. So all upgrades are free.
No
annual fee. Once you own it forever. And you're going to be able to hover over any of the things on your dashboard so you can see your exact balance maybe on your Visa card and what you have available. So not only what you owe, but your available balances on everything.
Some of our members are international. Does it also work for international or only US?
It works for US because there's different banking systems.
The banking system.
Yeah.
It's got to be work with whatever banking system in the US is.
Right. We do have goals and dreams to go international.
Right.
We just have not yet.
Can you start with Kenya?
We will make a request.
Let's do it. Well, I could talk to you about this forever. What a fascinating discussion. We're going to just have you as our ongoing guest expert on this podcast to kind of help educate our people about that. But Di will be with us at our upcoming forum on April the 20th. and we'll go even deeper. Down on that day, can we do a show and tell about this tool? Are you able to do show and tell on Zoom?
Absolutely.
You can see this too, because this tool sounds really amazing. And then, but if somebody right now watching this and say, I don't want to wait till April 20th, I want to connect with you now, what do they do?
All right, if they want to connect with me right now, they could go to moneymaxaccount.com/Darienzo, and they could book an appointment right through that, or you can go to calendly.com/Darienzo.
Awesome. Just do that. And it's also written right here, connect with Di if you don't want to wait till the 20th, so that you might be able to set up a time. And is it a free consultation?
Absolutely. It's complimentary. It doesn't cost them anything to find out how quickly we can get them out of debt or how much money we can save them in interest.
I love it. Don't you leave yet, because I have a few announcements to make, and then I have one question for you for our listeners. We always like our guests to give a keyword advice, and I have it coming for you. Well, listen, I hope that you enjoyed it. This was fascinating, right? Money Max Account, a tool that not only helps you become debt free, but help you know how to leverage the equity you have into multiple purposes. Really, it's about not only helping you become debt free, but help you generate income. Is that what it is? Di has her own personal journey. She's done that herself, and she can help with that as well. And not only the tool not only helps you, but also Di come alongside you. You have your coach, am I right?
Yes.
That help people along the process. Di will be at our upcoming forum on April the 20th. You want to sign up now so you can check her out, as well as other speakers, to learn about the power of financial freedom. If you want to know more about the Nehemiah Project, how we can come alongside you, serve you as an entrepreneur with your business, visit our website, nehemiahecommunity.com, nehemiahecommunity.com. There you'll learn about our training program, biblical entrepreneurship, drive oil, identity and destiny, and so on and so on. You'll also learn about our coaching program, individual coaching, group coaching, and so on and so forth. You'll also learn about our access to capital. If you need capital to grow your business, you'll learn about that as well. But more important than that, you'll learn about how to become a member of the community. Listen, membership does have its privileges. We are a growing community of members from Asia, Africa, Europe, Latin America, North America, and we need you to be a part, right? So you can connect people like Di and many others. Di is a member as well, so who are growing their businesses and serving others. So join the community today by going to the Nehemiah, to our website, nehemiahecommunity.com. If you enjoyed this podcast and you know other people who you're saying, oh my God, my cousin, my nephew, my niece, my brother, my sisters, my partner, my friend, my sister, my wife, husband, whoever needs to know about this, listen, share with them. Put it on your social media platform. Share it. Friends share with friends things that they like and enjoy. All right, share with them. Put it on your Facebook, on your LinkedIn, on your YouTube. By the way, follow us, like us, so that we can stay engaged with you and continue to share with you great information such as this. Before we close though, Di, so we're facing inflation. There's the war in Ukraine. There's the political dynamic. It's not even the year of presidential election, but it's already happening. There's all kinds of uncertainty in the air. I wrote a blog yesterday titled it's a VUCA world, right? Volatility, uncertainty. What does the other CNA stand for? But anyway, it's a VUCA world. It's a world of tremendous uncertainty. It's a time where so many people are anxious and concerned. Our interest rates are going up. So if somebody's watching and listening, they said, Di, I'm kind of where you were when you began this journey, when your husband got sick. I'm where you were when you found yourself with your child on the ground, and you realized that even though you had built a business, you didn't have the freedom to enjoy your own child. What's the one thing I can do? What advice would you give them? How did it begin that journey, Di, that you began years ago?
The thing that helped me the very most was learning where I was at and just being real about it. So I would encourage everybody who's listening today, for the next month, save every single receipt you get. Put it in a shoebox. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. And then total it. we are creatures of habit, and you're going to see exactly where your money is going. It's a huge, huge eye opener. And once you know where you're really at, then you can realistically set goals for where you want to be. I mean, how soon do you want to be out of debt? How soon do you want to have that passive income? And then be coachable. When people ask me, Di, how did you get to where you are today? You guys, I was gullible and naive enough to believe that I could. And I just did what I was told. And the Money Max account, it tells you exactly what to do, when to do it, and the exact dollar amount. There is no confusion about it.
I love it. Assess where you are. Be coachable. Call Di, reach out to her. She can walk you through. I'm assuming that not only do you help them through the Money Master account, but that your own personal journey as well empathizes and come alongside other people to help them get there where they are. And it brings you no greater joy than to help single mom and wives who lost their husbands or individuals who are going through a hard time, doesn't it?
Oh, I have helped so many single parents, not just single moms, there's single dads out there too.
Right.
And think how hard it is financially when your family's a unit and then you separate it. But married couples, there isn't anybody that I've helped that hasn't brought me joy. We'll cry together because this is like such a burden. And one of the first questions I ask people is, if you were debt-free, what would your life be like?
Wow.
And the answers you get, oh, if we were debt-free, my wife wouldn't have to work. If we were debt-free, we could homeschool our kids. If we were debt-free, we could eat organic. You hear all sorts of things. We would take that vacation. But often you hear, if we were debt-free, I'd be able to sleep at night. I wouldn't have that, burden that keeps you awake at night wondering, how am I going to get through another day?
I love it. And that could be yours as well. Let me pray for you. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord enable you to steward those talents that are under your care, as Di has done for hers. May you do it in such a way that one day you'll hear those wonderful words, well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful over a few things. Guess what? He'll not make you rule over much. God bless you. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.
Amen.